Have you ever picked up your phone just to check one notification, only to realize an hour has disappeared? You promised yourself you'd study, finish your work, or simply go to bed early. But somehow, one short video became 20, one notification became endless scrolling, and before you knew it, your entire plan was gone. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Millions of people experience this every day. But is it really because we've become lazy, or is something deeper happening inside our brains? People around the world call the solution dopamine detox. But what exactly is it? Let's uncover the truth together. By the end of this video, you'll have answers to 3 important questions. First, what exactly is dopamine detox, and why has it become so popular? Second, how does it actually work, and what does science really say about it? And finally, how can you practice it correctly without falling for common myths spread across the internet? Along the way, we'll explore how your brain makes decisions, why social media feels so addictive, and whether a dopamine detox can genuinely improve focus and productivity. But before talking about detoxing dopamine, we need to understand dopamine itself. Think about the last time you were waiting for something exciting. Maybe your exam results, your favorite meal, a cricket match, or a message from someone important. Even before anything actually happened, you probably felt excited, alert, or eager. That feeling wasn't random. It was your brain preparing for something rewarding. This is where dopamine comes in. It's involved in many everyday experiences, from eating delicious food and playing games, to learning new skills and achieving goals. But here's the surprising part. Dopamine isn't just about pleasure. It has a much bigger job. And understanding that changes everything. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, a chemical messenger that helps billions of brain cells communicate with one another. Instead of creating happiness by itself, dopamine helps your brain notice opportunities, predict rewards, stay motivated, learn from experiences, and take action toward goals. Imagine it as your brain's motivational messenger, encouraging you to move towards something important. Without dopamine, even simple tasks like learning, exercising, or getting out of bed could become incredibly difficult. That's why scientists don't call dopamine the happy chemical. It's much more accurate to think of it as the chemical that helps drive motivation and purposeful behavior. By now, you might be wondering, is dopamine actually the villain? After all, people keep talking about dopamine detox as if dopamine itself were harmful. But here's the truth. Dopamine isn't your enemy. In fact, without it, you couldn't enjoy achievements, stay motivated, learn new skills, or even feel driven to complete simple tasks. Dopamine is one of the reasons humans survive and grow. The real problem begins when powerful technologies constantly compete for your attention by triggering this natural system far more often than it evolved for. So if dopamine isn't the problem, what is the problem? Thousands of years ago, finding food or discovering something valuable was rare, so dopamine encouraged our ancestors to explore and survive. Today, things are very different. Instead of waiting days for something exciting, your phone can deliver hundreds of rewards in just a few minutes. Likes, notifications, reels, messages, and endless videos. Each one grabs your attention, making your brain crave the next reward before you've even finished enjoying the last one. Over time, this constant stream of stimulation can make slower activities like studying, reading, or practicing a skill feel much harder to stick with. So how do we regain control without giving up technology completely? Picture 2 students. Both are equally intelligent, equally motivated, and have the same exam next week. One sits down to study and completes 2 hours of focused work. The other keeps checking notifications, watching just one more short video, and gets distracted every few minutes. By the end of the day, one has made real progress, while the other feels guilty and frustrated. The difference isn't intelligence. It isn't even motivation. It's the environment surrounding their attention. So if our surroundings shape our habits, could changing those surroundings also change our focus? That's exactly where the idea of dopamine detox begins. When someone goes on a food diet, they don't stop eating altogether. Instead, they reduce unhealthy foods and replace them with healthier choices. A dopamine detox works in a similar way. It doesn't mean removing dopamine from your brain. That would be impossible because dopamine is essential for life. Instead, it means reducing unnecessary sources of constant stimulation, like endless scrolling, excessive gaming, or checking notifications every few minutes, and replacing them with activities that build long-term satisfaction, such as reading, exercising, learning, or spending time outdoors. The goal isn't less dopamine, it's healthier habits and better control over your attention. Despite its name, dopamine detox doesn't clean or flush out dopamine from your brain. Scientists generally agree that the name itself is misleading. A dopamine detox is better understood as a period of intentionally reducing highly stimulating activities, so your attention is no longer constantly pulled toward instant rewards. It's a strategy to help you become more aware of your habits, reduce distractions, and create space for healthier behaviors. In other words, you're not resetting your brain chemistry, you are resetting your daily routine and relationship with rewarding activities. That small difference changes everything. Imagine your attention as a flashlight. Every notification, short video, or quick reward pulls that flashlight in a different direction. Over time, your focus becomes scattered. A dopamine detox works by temporarily reducing those unnecessary distractions, allowing you to direct your attention back toward the things that truly matter. During this time, your brain begins adapting to a calmer environment, making slower but meaningful activities feel more rewarding again. It's not magic, and it's not an overnight transformation. It's simply giving yourself the opportunity to rebuild healthier habits, one decision at a time. But how do you actually do it without making common mistakes? That's what we'll explore next. Now that we understand what dopamine detox really means, the next question is obvious. How do you actually do it? The biggest mistake people make is trying to quit everything at once. That's usually unrealistic and doesn't last. Instead, start small. Choose one period of the day, maybe an hour in the evening or the first hour after waking up, and avoid unnecessary distractions like social media, short videos, or constant notifications. Replace that time with something meaningful, such as reading, exercising, journaling, or simply taking a walk. The goal isn't perfection, it's building habits that you can actually maintain. A major misconception is that you are trying to reach zero dopamine. This is biologically dangerous, as dopamine is required for basic human movement. A detox is about distancing yourself from high-stimulation behaviors, not flushing out a vital chemical. Let's clear up a few common myths. Myth number 1. Dopamine detox resets your brain. Not exactly. It doesn't reset your brain chemistry. It helps you build healthier habits. Myth number 2. You must avoid all pleasure. Absolutely not. Healthy activities like exercise, reading, hobbies, or spending time with family are encouraged. Myth number 3. One detox will permanently fix your focus. Again, no, a dopamine detox is a tool, not a miracle cure. Real improvement comes from consistent daily choices, not from one perfect day. The science is much less dramatic, but much more useful. The answer is surprisingly simple. When you reduce constant distractions, your attention has fewer things competing for it. Over time, many people find it easier to concentrate on slower but meaningful activities like studying, reading, or completing important tasks. It's not because dopamine has disappeared or your brain has been magically reset. It's because you've changed your habits and created an environment that supports focus instead of constantly interrupting it. In other words, the improvement comes from your daily decisions, not from a special chemical trick. Many people expect immediate results, but real change usually takes time. During the first 1 or 2 days, you might feel restless, bored, or constantly tempted to check your phone. That's completely normal. Your brain is adjusting to a quieter environment after becoming used to frequent stimulation. By around the first week, many people notice they can stay focused for longer periods and feel less distracted by every notification. Remember, everyone's experience is different, and this isn't a guaranteed timeline. The important thing is to stay consistent rather than expecting perfection. Small improvements repeated every day often lead to the biggest long-term changes. By the second or third week, many people begin noticing small but meaningful changes. Checking the phone every few minutes may become less automatic. Sitting down to study, read, or work can start feeling a little easier. You might find yourself finishing tasks before reaching for a distraction. But remember, this isn't because your brain has been reset. It's because you've consistently practiced healthier habits and reduced unnecessary interruptions. Progress won't always be perfectly steady. Some days will be easier than others, and that's completely normal. Real improvement comes from consistency, not perfection. The greatest benefit of a dopamine detox isn't becoming a productivity machine. It's regaining a sense of control over your own attention. Imagine sitting down to complete an important task without feeling the constant urge to check your phone. Imagine enjoying a conversation, a book, or even a quiet walk without immediately searching for more stimulation. That's the real goal. Not removing pleasure, but learning to enjoy simpler, meaningful experiences again. When you control your attention, instead of letting distractions control you, everyday life can begin to feel calmer, clearer, and more intentional. Let's bring everything together. Dopamine is not your enemy. It's an essential chemical that helps you stay motivated, learn, and achieve goals. The problem isn't dopamine itself, but the constant overstimulation that competes for your attention. A dopamine detox doesn't remove dopamine or magically reset your brain. Instead, it's a practical way to reduce unnecessary distractions, become more aware of your habits, and create an environment where focus can grow. Small, consistent changes are far more powerful than extreme challenges. In the end, the purpose of a dopamine detox is simple: take back control of your attention. Coming up next, we will dive into a dopamine detox specifically for students. We will explore how to apply these principles to your study habits to boost. Understanding dopamine detox is only the first step. The next question is even more practical. How can students use these ideas to improve focus, study for longer without feeling exhausted, and reduce distractions during exam preparation? In our next video, we'll explore science-backed techniques that students can apply in their daily routine without giving up everything they enjoy. We'll also discuss study environments, phone habits, realistic schedules, and simple strategies that can help you stay focused for longer. If you've ever struggled to concentrate while studying, you won't want to miss it. Your brain isn't broken, it isn't lazy, and it doesn't need to be detoxed. What it needs is an environment that helps it focus on what truly matters. Every notification you ignore, every unnecessary distraction you reduce, and every meaningful habit you build is a step toward taking back control of your attention. Don't aim for perfection, aim for progress. Even the smallest positive choice today can become a powerful habit tomorrow. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, consider subscribing for more science-based videos on learning, productivity, psychology, and self-improvement. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.